take a trip around the curve. The Directors Guild reached a tentative agreement with studios on a new contract. The Guild says the new deal made advances on wages, streaming residuals, safety, creative rights, and diversity, as well as AI productions. Jennifer Lopez's picture, Unstoppable, halted production for a day amid WGA picketing. George Clooney's MGM movie The Boys in the Boat set for a Christmas Day voyage. Sofia Vergara's Latin World Entertainment promotes Tatiana Castro to VP of Content and Partnerships. Clint Eastwood's Juror Number 2 adds Leslie Bibb to the cast. Sideshow and Janus Films acquires Domestic Fights to Catherine Breillat's Last Summer. Oppenheimer, Chris Nolan's 3-hour atomic bomb thriller detailing the origins and mechanics of the Manhattan Project through the eyes of J. Robert Oppenheimer, arrives July 21st with an R rating. Oppenheimer will be his first R rating title since Insomnia in the summer of 2002. Mandy Moore and Kamal Nanjiani are set to star in Thread, an Insidious tale for Screen Gems. Moon Knight's Jeremy Slater is directing. Angus MacLane and Gail Sussman were the latest casualties in the Disney layoff. Both had been part of the studio for quite some time, with the latter being there since Toy Story. ATX and the Blacklist partnered with Bad Robot FX, Sony, and USA Network on a new writing program designed to find new TV writers for staffing consideration. Kiwi Kwan signed with UTA Agency. Barbie's set construction caused an international paint shortage, says production designer. The world literally ran out of pink. The Associated Press style guide, which set the agenda for how most major media uses its words and phrases in reporting, has come out with new guidelines on gender. The AP now instructs journalists to respect the LGBTQ subject's preferred pronouns and avoid terms like biological sex. And my guest star, my special guest star, is a woman that you've seen on Lifetime. You've seen her in the movie Guess Who, playing Zoe Saldana's sister. That's right, baby. Kelly Stewart is joining me to talk about her fight to have a baby after a certain age. And we are going to talk about some of her favorite movies, which include Love Jones and The Color Purple. Plus, what did I really think about that Spider-Man movie? I'm going to tell you. It's all coming up right now on The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I wish you love, peace, and hair grease.
Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Yeah, you know I'm shooting straight from the hip.
This is Carla Renata, a.k.a. The Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
Hey. Oh, Lord, that looks terrible. Hey, what is going on with my hair? Anyway. Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. I know I got y'all in suspense with my special guest star, and I'm going to introduce her in just a second. But if this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up if you were on the YouTube. Click the channel below for notifications and subscribe to the channel, because you never know who you're going to see up and through The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. Today is June 4th. It is 5 p.m. Pacific time, and I usually start out with that intro, and I tell you what I'm going to talk about throughout the course of the podcast. So, of course, I'm going to tell you who my special guest is in 2 seconds, but I do have a review on Arnold, the documentary series that is streaming on Netflix at the moment. And then I'm going to talk about the Spider-Man situation, because I couldn't review it last week because I gave y'all the interviews and it was still under embargo, but now I can review it. So we're going to talk about that after I tell you about how I went to. So I went to the premiere. Here's my ticket. Here's me on the red carpet doing my best Spider-Man pose. It's just so busted and wrong, I know. And then there's me with my little brother who looks very excited to be there. Not. And then here's me taking a picture with a big, giant Nike Air Jordan on the carpet of the premiere. I also went to a screening of The Blackening. I have the entire cast and creatives of that for you next week. And I saw Elemental. I went to a screening for that, and I can't tell you any more about that at the moment. But yeah, there's that. So my first guess, I gave y'all some clues. I said, Who is funny that starred in Guess Who? Remember I said that? Well, I'm about to show you who she is. And there's going to be a couple of pictures where it's not just her until I show just her, right? So this is her in a Lifetime movie. This is her on the carpet. This is her playing Zoe Saldana's sister. And who? Guess who? And then this is her and I together. I think we were at P Valley. Well, I'll talk. We'll figure it out when she come on camera. But her name is Kelly Stewart, baby, and Kelly has been very vocal about what it is like to be after a certain age, wanting a family, wanting to have kids, and not having a significant other to do that with, and wanting to do it by yourself, but then having to do this in vitro situation, and it's a whole lot going on. But I love how she took these pictures. She makes wanting to have a baby very sexy. I'm just gonna say it. She makes it look very sexy. And then she's got the little thing with the little baby thing. I'm like, I am proof that God answers prayers. And yes, God truly answered my prayer by having her join me today. So without further ado, let me bring to the stage my good girlfriend, Miss Kelly Stewart.
Hi.
Where's she at? There you are. Wait a minute. I gotta come back on camera. Hold on. Hold the line, as Jennifer Hudson would say. Hey!
Hi, friend. Oh,
How
we're
you
both wearing
doing?
blue
Hey,
today.
girl,
Hi,
hey.
critic. Hi, darling. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for that amazing introduction because, like, oh my God, I was looking at those pictures of myself going, child, I wish I had a makeup artist over here in Philly with me so I could, like, look like some of those photos. But thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited to be here. And I just saw you on Act Your Age, and I'm just obsessed with you and all of the things.
You always say that. You always say you're obsessed with me. You are so freaking funny. I love you for that, though.
I love you back, baby. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can really see y'all.
Can you?
Okay, here we go.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about this situation that you have going on. Just explain to everybody. I explain to everybody what it is that you're doing and the initiative that you're launching in conjunction with it.
Well, I about the fertility, yes. I froze my eggs when I was 37 years
Yes,
old.
ma'am.
Yes, I froze my eggs when I was 37. I gave away my best baby making years to the wrong man, child, to the wrong relationship. And the next thing I knew, I was single, approaching my 40s, and I knew I always wanted to be a mother, but I didn't have the partner to do so. And so I immediately went to the fertility clinic. It was on a Wednesday, and I found out that I was a candidate to freeze my eggs. And so I called my mom, who I lovingly call Mama Stu. I flew her from Philadelphia to Los Angeles, and she gave me all the shots. And luckily, especially at that age, I was able to retrieve 32 eggs, of which 29 were viable and successfully frozen at the time. And so I just kind of wanted to put them away. I never thought that I was going to be public about it. But when I learned about all the underlying conditions that affect fertility in those that identify as female and those that identify as male, PCOS, fibroids, endometriosis, and especially the fact that those conditions that I just named, as well as others, affect Black women sometimes 3 times more than our white counterparts. I knew that it was an opportunity for me to educate myself and then to use my platform to educate others about being proactive about your fertility health, because I got lucky that I got that amount of eggs. Now, when you freeze your eggs, it's not guaranteed, y'all. It's You're freezing your potential fertility. Okay, nothing is guaranteed in this world. We know that. But the reality is I have 29 chances that I would not have had I not taken that initiative. So I wanted to educate my fellow, sisters and brothers about it. So I did.
I love that. I love that you took the time to explain that. And I love that you're doing that because this will help. Usually I just talk strictly about film, right? But I felt like you've been in movies, so it counts. And I felt like it, you know what I mean? And I felt like it's an important initiative. I feel like it was an important subject to discuss. And I know how important it is and how dear it is to your heart. So, because I know you and I adore you, I wanted to make sure that we gave you some proper time and spotlight and energy toward that, because it's important that young women know that they have choices, because we're living in a time where a lot of our choices are being taken away. So I think it's really important that you are part of an initiative that allows young women to know, and young women meaning 30 and up, not necessarily 30 and down, but letting young women know that they have choices in this life, and that not all is lost if you desire to have a family. That doesn't necessarily have to be with a man or with a woman, whatever your preference is, but that you can have a family if you so desire, and that there are other ways to do that other than the traditional way.
I agree wholeheartedly. And being in the entertainment industry as we are, I have to tell you, there are so many actresses and actors, but because I'm female, a lot of times actresses have been so candid to come over to me and say, "I wish there was a you when I was coming up in this industry. I wish there was a voice saying, 'Hey, wait, before you go do all of these things, make sure you proactively think about if you're going to want a family one day, or if you don't even know whether or not you're going to want a family one day,' right? Because we don't always have those answers right away. Life changes, on a dime. And so I'm glad that social media exists, that interviews like this exist, where people can really see it and say, "Oh, maybe this is something that I should think about and do something about." One of the things I'm most proud of in terms of the initiative that I've been in for the last 3 years in the fertility space is partnering with Evite. Because given the fact that I've gone to dozens, girl, and I know you too have done the same, baby showers out there and spent a whole lot of money, celebrating everybody else's pregnancies and journeys to parenthood, which I love to do. When it was my turn to freeze my eggs and I was by myself, except for calling my mama and a few close friends that knew that I was doing it, it felt very isolating. It felt very scary. It felt very much depressing at times, because that was not the plan that I had for myself, but it was the situation that God had presented in my life. And I threw myself an egg shower, and nobody knew what that was. I didn't know what it was. I made it up because I wanted to shower myself with the same love and encouragement and support that I've given so many people over the years. And in doing so, later on, when I got into this space, I decided I need to figure out a way to broaden this and get this on a larger platform. And I pitched it to Evite, which you guys may know is the largest online invitation platform that reaches over 100 million users. And we created a whole another category. So they partner with me to create Parenthood Journey. And Parenthood Journey has IVF showers, it has adoption showers, surrogacy showers, rainbow baby showers for people that are experiencing a pregnancy after loss. And of course, it has egg showers, including my own design, the Kelly Stewart design, egg shower design. So I want people to join me in celebrating their journey, not just the destination, because as somebody that does want a child, and maybe I will one day, maybe I won't, that's still, the universe still has to help me get there, right? And we never know what could happen. I don't want to look back on this time and never have given myself that very, valued pat on the back that, yeah, girl, you made a choice and you took control of your fertility future. So whether I get to the actual baby shower or not, I wanted to offer the option of showers along the way.
I love that you're doing that. Snaps and claps to you, sis, for that. Yes.
Thank you,
So
baby.
I know that Juneteenth is coming up, yes, of course. I know that Juneteenth is coming up, and in celebration of that, I asked you, just to celebrate all things blackety black, black, black. I asked you what two of your favorite movies were, and you said that they were The Color Purple and Love Jones. So I got a little game for you that we gonna play
Okay.
that I didn't tell you about.
Oh, I haven't seen
So
either
I
one of
got
them in
some
a long
Love Jones
time.
trivia.
Okay.
Girl, it's just trivia. It's easy trivia. So it's trivia for both films. So for Love Jones, Nina, who's played by Nia Long, has a fiance. Do you remember what his name was?
Oh no, because I mean, I just hear her saying Darius, and it's not Darius because that's Lorenz, but it should be her fiance anyway. So can I like
No.
I can't remember her fiance's name. What was it?
I'll let you slide. I'll let you slide on that. I'll let you slide on that one. His name was Marvin.
I never would have guessed. I really wouldn't have, because we were all looking at Lorenz anyway.
I remember that because I seen that movie a million times, so I knew that. So another one. Darius recited a poem because Darius was, a poetry slam jam kind of dude. He had this poem called A Blues for Nina. I know you remember that poem. There's this one line where he says, and I want you to complete the line, I just want to give you injections.
You know what? If it doesn't end with the funking my right, I don't know it. Because that was the line, y'all. It was about
I know the funk in my right arm and the blues to your right.
Yes.
It was with sublime erections.
Ooh, I am literally
No. But you're gonna get this one.
Uh-oh, I'm scared. I haven't seen it in
No,
so
you're
long.
not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're gonna get this one. What was the name of the poetry club?
Oh girl, I don't remember.
Kelly, come on now. It was the Sanctuary.
I promise you.
So for those who don't know what we talking about,
my whole black card.
You are funny to
my
me.
My whole black card just got taken away on the Curvy Critic.
Your whole black card was revoked.
I haven't seen it in years. I truly haven't.
So okay.
I should have
okay, you are hilarious. So you funny. For those who don't know what Love Jones means, this is what it means. Two strangers meet and they move toward the same kind of togetherness. And in this film, it's a name for Love Jones literally is like an urban colloquialism, which means addiction, and dates at least as far back as the 70s. So, there's a whole song called Love Jones, I gotta love Jones for you. So it goes all the way back. So for those watching, that's Love Jones. This was the movie. It had Lisa Nicole Carson. It had Isaiah Washington down there in the corner. It had Bill Bellamy. It had so many people in it. And this was them when they had a reuniting of an anniversary at the Academy Museum here in LA. They all got together and they were on the stage talking about that film and how much fun they had. Okay, Kelly. Now we're going to go to The Color Purple.
Oh, God, I'm
so scared. I'm going to ask you this. No. You're going to know the answer to this. I promise you. Who is the actress who played Celie in the original musical adaptation of The Color Purple? Not the revival, but the original musical adaptation.
The original musical adaptation? It wasn't Cynthia? It wasn't Cynthia? It was Cynthia Danielle?
No, Cynthia did the revival.
Who did the original?
No. That was the revival. The person who was in the original was a young lady named LaChance. And LaChance won the Tony Award. And yes, LaChance won the Tony Award for her role as Celie in The Color Purple. She's also known for being on Broadway in Once on This Island, which is the show she got her first Tony Award nomination for. Her last musical, I think, that she did on Broadway was a show about Donna Summer, which I think she got nominated for a Tony for that too. And this is what she looks like outside of her costumes. This is what she looks like now. And I just had to throw this up because this young lady is her daughter, and she is on the latest Star Trek series right now on CBS. Her name is Celia Rose Gooding, and that is LaChance's daughter. Oh, yes. I'm educating a sister. All right. So now.
Yeah, because I was a huge.
So now I know you know this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I know you're going to know this one. Who played Celie's sister?
I'm not going to know because There's
Yes,
a
you are.
delay.
Yes, you are. You are gonna know.
I can see her. She's brown skin and she's beautiful and she does the clap hands. But what's her name? Jesus help me, God. Carl, next time you got to tell
Okay,
me. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
do
tell. I'm gonna
quiz.
tell you what her name is.
Yes, because no, because I before you tell me
Okay,
her, there's beautiful baby. There she is. What's her name?
there's her name is Akosia Busia, and she played Celi's sister. She literally is a real life princess from Ghana. Her father was the prime minister of the Republic of Ghana and prince of the royal family Wenchi, which makes her a princess.
Oh my goodness. I never knew that, and I've been to Ghana and
She
everything,
was
and I never
also
knew that.
married. I knew she was a princess, but I didn't know what country. This picture is from the last scene in The Color Purple when she finally is reunited with Celie. This
Yeah,
is what she looks like now.
beautiful.
And she has a daughter. I think I have that picture. Do I have that picture in here? I should have a picture in here. She was married to John Singleton, and they have a daughter together. I don't have that picture, but she was married to John Singleton, and they have a daughter together. So yeah,
Beautiful.
so
Everybody
that is it for
listen.
my Color Purple trivia.
If I had known, y'all,
That
I
is
just
it for
want
my Color Purple.
in my own defense, okay, I haven't seen either one of those movies in the longest of times. And I am in Philadelphia taking care of my parents. And if I had known it was going to be trivia, okay, I would have watched it, but I would have refreshed my memory. So everybody can take my black card. I'm gonna find a way to get it back, but it
I just
deserves to be
wanted to,
taken. No, I failed. I got a zero. I got a zero. I got an F. Okay. I didn't know, but I know now. I ain't messing with the curvy critic like that again. Now I know. I gotta be ready. I have to be ready. You know, I would have never guessed that name. And Carl was gonna sit back. You gonna know this one? I was like, and that makes me nervous right away because the pressure is on. Okay, anyway, okay. Next time. Next time.
I just I just wanted to make our time. We were talking about something so heavy in the beginning that I just wanted us to have some fun as we
I
got
love it.
toward the end of our time together. I just want to ask you, what is it about those two films that you love? Like, what is it about Love Jones that makes it one of your favorite movies?
Oh, the push and the pull of love. I feel like it was one of those films with, you didn't really see a lot of black people in rom-com movies, in those romantic comedy movies. We were always not looked at in that light in terms of the broader scope of the industry. And what I loved about Love Jones is that it was about the push and the pull. Their love story wasn't a straight line, and no love story that I've ever experienced in my life, or even my parents have been married 55 years, but they broke up for 2 years in their courtship. I loved the fact that and then got back together and got married, and luckily they did, because otherwise it wouldn't be born, y'all. But I love the depiction of the messiness of love in Love Jones. I loved the rawness of it all. I loved the hiding of the vulnerability, the not wanting to go there, and I love the decisions to lean in. And I loved how how Darius, how he stood up for himself, how he stood up for how he felt about this woman. And I love how he found it. It was just beautiful and seamless, even though I failed at the trivia of it all. It was just so beautiful and seamless. And there was lines in there, like when she got mad at him and he was like, "You stand out here like somebody stole your bike." There was just these lines that just always stuck with me as part of who I am and part of the love stories that I've been able to witness in my own life and my family. So that's what I loved about it.
I love that. And what was it about The Color Purple?
The performances broke my heart, and it was one of the first movies that ever did that. I was very young when it came out, and it was one of the things that what went on with Whoopi's character and Danny Glover's character in that home, the abuse, verbally and otherwise. I I had never been transformed out of myself. to a place of deep empathy on the screen, to a place where a female's identity was being taken from her, her will was being taken from her. And I guess this is a little bit heavy, but I was able to relate to that. And I had never seen that before. And I had never saw the victory um, in that later for her. And it was just layers. The story was layered and it was beautifully crafted, and everybody's performance was insanely touching and memorable. And that's why we're going to be seeing it again this Christmas. Um, so yeah, it was a life altering movie, life altering.
Yay. Well, sis, I told you I was going to keep you for 10 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes, and I like to keep my word. I, I want to thank you for taking time out of your Sunday to play a little game with me and enlighten people about your journey. Tell folks where they can find you and where they can find more information about what you're working on.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at kstew222. That's KSTEW 222. On Twitter, it's my first and last name, Kelly_Stewart. And you can also look at warrior-wednesdays.com. That's warrior-wednesdays with an S.com. And you can see me talking to many Black males and females about fertility, including Danielle Brooks, who was in the a Broadway production of The Color Purple, of which I failed that game. But you can see Danielle's story because she talks to me about her birth story there. So you can get a little Color Purple there too.
Great. All right, sis. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. And hopefully when you get back to LA, we'll have some me time in person. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I miss you. I adore you. Congrats on everything. Mwah. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, sweet.
I love her so much. She's the best person ever. Ugh. She is the best person ever. I really love her a lot, and she's just a really lovely person. Yeah, she's a lovely person, and she has some wonderful things going on. So, having said that, I know Brandon has stopped by earlier to tell me that he saw Spider Verse last week and is so good. He can't wait for Beyond next year, and also he's planning on seeing the Transformers, and Elemental, and Ruby Gillman, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And what else did he tell me? And he said he feels like Across the Spider-Verse is the best movie of the year. Agreed. And I love how my good girlfriend Lana Walker was like, hashtag history when I was quizzing Kelly. I literally was just trying to have a little fun. And we had a little bit of a delay happening. So, but we could still hear each other. Just for some reason, there was a delay. I don't know why that was happening, but stuff happens. But I was really happy to have her here. All right, so let's get into what I said I was going to talk to you about. I said I was going to talk to you about this Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary. So it's on Netflix. It's a docuseries. It's directed by Leslie Chilcott, and it basically deals with Arnold Schwarzenegger's story. It's a fascinating immigrant story of a man whose hope and ambition drove him to not only become Mr. Universe, but the governor of the state of California. He talks about what that journey was like. He talks about how much he revered and admired America and wanted to become a citizen here. He married a Kennedy, Maria Shriver, after he was introduced to her by Maria's mom, which that's always the best way for a dude to get in is through the mama. Y'all know that, right? Don't matter what color you are, it's always good to get in through the mama. He talks about his work ethic and everyone else. James Cameron, Linda Hamilton, Jamie Lee Curtis, they all talk about his work ethic and his rivalry with Sylvester Stallone, because they were two of the biggest action movie stars at the time, and they were similar. And Sylvester Stallone jokes that Arnold was always copying him and imitating everything that he did. And um, they delve into his whole bodybuilding career and how that got started, and how he was fascinated with that particular way of life. It's a really, and I got to tell you, I was going into that and I thought, I'm not gonna like this. This is gonna be tired. If I'm being honest, I thought it was gonna be tired. It was gonna be fluff, fluff, wah, wah, wah. And what it was is, it was very honest. It was very revealing. He owned up to his infidelity. It's very well known that he had cheated on Maria and had a son with their housekeeper, who he totally acknowledges. And that young man actually was on Dancing with the Stars last season, dancing his little heart out. It's amazing how much his physique and just his face in general looks just like his dad. But that is Arnold, and it is streaming right now on Netflix. So, having said that, let's go to the next one. I want to talk about the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie. So, like I said in the intro, I went to the red carpet and I went to the world premiere with my little brother. It's directed by 3 different directors this time. This time it's Joaquin Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, Justin K. Thompson, and it's dealing with Miles Morales, whose voice rather by Shameik Moore, catapults across the multiverse where he's protecting his very existence. When heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles must redefine what it is and what it means to be a hero. I'll say this about it. Now, I wrote a written review on it, and for the most part, I liked it. This is what I didn't like, though. I didn't necessarily like, I wasn't necessarily keen on the fact that, let me put this up. So Lana says she loved him since he was in Arnold Strong. Okay. I like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a cool dude. I ain't got a problem with him. I just was like, I was surprised that documentary was as good as it was. Now, talking about Spidey and Gwen. So when this film starts out, it starts out being all about Gwen, which I have to say had me in my feelings, because the thing that made Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse popular and excitable was the fact that this was a Spider-Man story whose origin was starting with a young Latino man. And then they started off with this origin story for this little white girl. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But they corrected it very quickly. And then I got out of my feelings. But I just have to say that and acknowledge that, because that's what was going on. I love that they focused more on the story of his relatives, who were played by Brian Tyree Henry and Lauren Velez. They focused more on the relationship with his parents and his uncle, and how he was feeling as growing up without his uncle, who he was extremely close to. I love that Daniel Kaluuya was in it, but child, I couldn't understand a word he said. Couldn't understand a word Daniel Kaluuya said. Love him, love him. And the way he voiced his character was really lovely, but child, couldn't understand a word he said. Couldn't understand one word. But they got his character together and right. And I just tell you, Issa Rae as Jessica Drew stole the movie for me. Like, every time her character had to speak, I was all about it and had the best time ever. Every time she opened her mouth to talk, I was there for all of that. So those are the 2 films that I wanted to talk about today, was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Arnold. There weren't a whole lot of movies that were released this week, but baby, next week it is off and cracking, because for weeks and weeks and weeks, I have been promising y'all this movie right here, Flamin' Hot. Finally, next week, I can finally talk about Flamin' Hot. I'm also going to do a review of Dollyland, which was at the Toronto International Film Festival, starring Ben Kingsley. I'm also going to talk about a film called Extraction 2, which will be on Netflix. And last but not least, I have the entire cast of The Blackening, including the director and co-director Tim Story and Tracy, excuse me, who someone got my throat. Tracy, who is the is the creator of Girls Trip. So I have Tracy, I have Tim, I have everybody that you see on that screen. That film was hella funny. I laughed out loud. I'm just going to give you this as a teaser, Sister Act. That's all I'm going to say. And then I have Sasha Kaye, who plays Supergirl in The Flash. The Flash and I think The Blackening are both due to drop on the 16th. So that is it, y'all, for this edition of The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. It was short and to the point, but I got a whole bunch of interviews when I come back. And then I think the couple of weeks after that, I have, what do I have? I'm a Virgo with Jarrell Jerome. I have the entire cast from that too. I'm a Virgo, which is going to be dropping on Amazon Prime Video. It's Jarrell Jerome, Carmen Ajogo are in that cast. I have the entire cast from that. I have Asteroid City Review and The Perfect Find Review. I misspoke. I will be doing the Blackening. I will be doing the Blackening interviews and reviews the week after June 18th. June 11th is when I'm doing Flamin' Hot Dollyland, Extraction 2, and The Flash. And I might see Transformers. I'm not sure. That's still kind of up in the air at the moment, but we might be seeing that. So if this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up to let me know you were here. Click that bell for notifications. If you are on the YouTube, surprise, surprise, surprise. Thank you for joining me and tuning in to the channel. You never know who you're going to see here. See, now I fooled everybody because everybody thought I was talking about Niecy Nash. No, I don't know Niecy Nash, but I know Kelly Stewart, and Kelly Stewart is fabulous. And if you are not familiar with her, you need to make yourselves familiar with her because she's fantabulous. All right, so until the next time, y'all, keep them hands washed, be safe, be wonderful to your loved ones. They're not always going to be here. Pay attention to those around you. Be nice to your friends. You know, you never know when they're going to leave. Either one day people are here and the next day they're not. So having said that, keep it light, keep it fun. Love, peace, and hair grease. Until the next time, and deuces.